Okay. Back online. I don't know. All right, we'll see.
So she was visiting,
Right.
and she, we all went to bed, and I heard like this moaning and this calling, like this kind of moaning, and I don't know if it was necessarily like a help, but like it was like and she was standing in the room across from me, and I thought I thought she died. I heard like a thud
Right.
and everything, and I was too scared to go to go see her because I thought I didn't want to find the dead body, right?
Right.
And I
I
literally
love
sat
that you
there.
think it was a dead body. How old was she at this point?
She was in her 80s. She was old,
Okay.
man. Yeah.
So
she
this was
old.
in Florida then.
No, this was we were living in Ohio.
Okay.
And I remember like it was crazy because they didn't think she could get on the plane because her eyes would pop out.
Oh,
when
wow.
you get old, there's all kinds of crazy stuff you can't do. And so anyway, I was sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, because I didn't hear any other sound, and I was like, oh my god, she just died, she just fell, and I didn't want to find the dead body. And I remember laying there going like, well, if she's dead, she's dead. Like, my parents will find her or whatever. So sure enough, I wake up in the morning and I peek in her room and she's not there, and my mom and dad aren't there.
Right.
And I go to my brother. I'm like, where? Where's mom and dad? Like, oh, they're with grandma. Like, like kind of. He didn't really know what was going on. They left in the middle of the night or something.
Right.
Turns out that she wasn't dead. When they came home, she had fallen down and like broken her hip in the tub or something while she was going to the bathroom or whatever.
Oh.
And just passed out and laid there on the floor with like some broken hip.
Right.
So. She survived, but it was pretty embarrassing because I could have been there and helped her as soon as she broke her hip,
Right.
before she passed out in pain.
So, I think you're way, way, way better than this next guy. So
Okay.
this guy, his name is Kevin Curry, and his father is Roger Curry. His father was 76. He had dementia. And his father, Kevin, and Kevin's mom, Mary, were looking for a place to put Roger.
Yeah.
And they decided several times, like, really kind of, like, he said to a neighbor that he exhausted, like, all avenues of where to put his dad.
Yeah.
So
This is an important story to listen to, man. If you're like in your 40s, dude, because
Right.
this is all right around the corner for all of us.
Right.
What do you do with our folks?
So he Kevin's mom decided to take Roger on a trip to the UK, and then they just left him at a bus stop.
They ditched him.
They ditched him.
Oh,
It's actually called granny dumping in the UK.
And it's got to be common enough for people,
Well,
there's a name for it, so this happens all the time.
Well, it happens a lot, and in the UK
But
they
why
have.
why in the UK?
The UK has like a system, I think, for like nationalized elderly care.
Okay. So
And,
people
but
just know.
they're like, it's considered like social services there.
Yeah.
But especially for people with dementia, it's very challenging. Even if they do, like once he was located, they took immediate care of him.
Yeah.
And there's a show called Panorama. It's been on since, it's like our 60 Minutes in the UK. And this one guy kind of caught on to the story because of a care worker who brought it to his attention.
Yeah.
And
Granny dumping. Wow.
and it became like this huge thing in the UK to try and find this guy's
real parents.
Real parents.
Or real family, I guess. I should say.
and reunite them.
Yeah. But they didn't want to be reunited. Like,
Yeah,
no.
no. Well, the other thing too is like as much as they didn't want to reunite them, the people in the UK had no idea. They thought maybe he wandered off.
Yeah.
maybe he's just lost,
Well, old
and
people do wander off, man. I mean, yeah. Like,
Absolutely.
I've done a ton of volunteer work with the elderly
Right.
in all kinds of homes, in dementia units, in Alzheimer units, in hospice.
Right.
And the thing that you realize, and I really recommend everybody at some point volunteer with the elderly, because as you get older, what you realize is it comes really fast.
Right.
Like real fast. Like you think I'm 45. It's like, dude, you're gonna be old, like really fast. And then number two, what you realize is that, if you're lucky enough to have the kind of money to afford care, you're basically, what you're talking about is being in a private room to sit and watch TV.
Right.
And maybe have someone come wipe your ass. I mean, and then if you don't have money, you're gonna share the room. And then if you just haven't saved or prepared for it at all, you're gonna spend your days like in a dorm with like people like you know with like 45 people in like a wing of some hospital.
Right.
You know? So the levels of care are very dramatic, but you know, it's something that nobody thinks about. You know, nobody thinks about like, oh wow, like you know, I can do all this stuff now, and I have all this stuff, and it's like you are gonna have maybe a locker full of like a couple robes, maybe a couple PJs, some slippers, you know, maybe an extra set of false teeth.
Right.
You know, and then you're gonna fight if you have a roommate. You're gonna fight over what you're watching on cable, and you're gonna spend years doing that and eating shitty food.
Right. And so this guy, he did exactly that. They said that he didn't talk a lot. He didn't seem to know his name. They weren't, you know, very. They couldn't get a lot of information from him.
Yeah.
So they were, you know, as well as being concerned about him, they were also unable to find out any information of where he was,
Yeah.
or where he was from.
I've hung out with guys like this.
Yeah.
You know, like while I was volunteering. I mean, I hung out with guys like that, and there was this one guy.